Alright, let's do it all at the same time. 3, 2. Alright. And we're back again. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
No, you take it. Okay. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Bull City Pioneers podcast. My name is Hector.
My name is Luis, and today we have
Loku.
Another pioneer.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
we're really excited for
Thanks for having me.
Well, I know we've been trying to like schedule it for a while now. What you doing?
I was just trying to
okay. I was like, what is he holding his hand up for?
Yeah.
But I know we've been actually trying to like schedule this for a while. And we've been going back and forth, and because of like the hurricane that happened recently and stuff like that, we had to reschedule several times. But we're finally
here with Loku. Finally.
You want to give the pioneer community over here a background story of what you do and where you're from and stuff like that?
So I am a singer, songwriter. I'm from Fayetteville, but I live in Raleigh right now. That's what I do. I sing.
You sing, okay. Are you signed to any record label, or you?
No, I'm independent. Yep.
Wow, and you're doing this all by yourself?
Well, I have a manager, agent, and she kind of like we do this process together, but no labels, no agencies.
You plan to keep it that way?
We've talked about it because we've had some like kind of show interest, but for right now, I don't know. Labels make things a little tricky.
Yeah,
and you kind of don't have a lot of freedom.
Of course, yeah.
Right now, I have probably too much freedom, so I kind of so probably no, not right now.
Okay, not right now. Where do you usually perform the most? Is it in the RDU? Do you jump around sometimes, or how is it? Where you perform?
I'd say probably RDU.
RDU area.
My main supporters and fans are going from Fayetteville, Raleigh, Durham.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been at it? Like writing music and all that stuff? I guess a better question would be like, what made you start first? I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I was my first kind of go around with music. I started in a Christian rock group when I was like 17, and we like toured different like youth conferences and stuff. So that was kind of like when like music like started big. I mean, like I always sang and stuff like church, but that was kind of like the first music.
Yeah.
This is like
started getting movement.
Yeah. When I was about 17, this is a band called Resurgence. And then I got to college, and that kind of didn't get cool anymore. That wasn't cool. So I kind of did my own thing.
Let's go a little bit.
Yeah. So.
And then you went solo. Do you still keep in contact with the people you were in the band with, or? No.
I know that the second I think about it.
That's
They were all a lot older than me when we started. They were like grown. So now they have like families, and they're like doing their own music thing. Yeah. I was like 17 in a band with a bunch of like 25, 30-year-olds.
That's a good experience though. And do you want to tell the pioneers a little bit about your background? You said where you're from, what brought you to North Carolina, Fayetteville area, or what brought you to the RDU area as well? Would you mind telling us?
I was born and raised in Fayetteville, but I moved to Raleigh to go to school. I'm in school right now. It's my last semester. I go to Meredith and study business, so that's kind of keeping me in this area for a little while.
Okay, and what do you have any memories from your childhood from Guam, and do you have any memories you want to share with us?
Like about like the island?
Yeah. I mean, most people probably don't know how it feels to live on an island,
Yeah, well, I actually didn't live there. My family lived there. I say like my fondest memories are probably from Hawaii. My dad's from Hawaii, from Maui. So like going back and like hanging out with cousins and experience life like on the island. It's just cool in general.
I've seen some of the posters you put on your Instagram and like the festivals and dances and stuff. That's really cool. Like it's really interesting to just see like the difference in culture from like what I see here and like from our cultures even.
Yeah.
It's really, there's a lot of differences, but there's also a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Like just the styles of dancing and stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, and Chamorros, or like the people Guam, they're called Chamorros. there's like a really big community of them in Fayetteville. That's where I'm from.
Really?
Like a huge community. So like, and if you're Chamorro, you're like proud to be a Chamorro. So they're
There
like
you go.
always repping 100% of the time. So we always have festivals or like any way that we can show people like this is who we are and like share like our culture. Like,
That's cool.
That's I did not.
I don't think we
know
have anything for us here like that.
You gotta make one. You gotta make one.
Right.
Hey, there you go. There's an idea.
That's interesting though. I didn't know that was a thing in Fayetteville. That was a big community. That's crazy. That's interesting. I want to research that now.
Yeah.
To be honest.
There's like a lot of events. There's even I know some of my aunts. They put on a Chamorro appreciation show. It's like they bring somebody in from Guam and they teach somebody. Like we do a lot of hula dancing, so they teach you like basic hula, and it's for everybody to just come and learn. And like you can learn like the language and stuff because our culture is like I wouldn't say it's dying, but it's nobody knows about like did you know about Guam? Like when nobody knows about Guam, so like we're just trying to share it like as much as possible.
That tells a story, right? Like
you're
supposed to like the hand movements tell a story or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know much, but I know that.
Yeah, that's
part. Back to the music. Do you want to tell us what kind of inspires you on a daily basis to do what you do in the music industry, or do you have anything special that you do that inspires yourself?
Yeah. So I kind of have used music to kind of like just voice something. Like a lot of people think that my music is kind of like sonically dark and sometimes lyrically dark. I don't know if you guys listen to. I hope you guys do. So I that is kind of like one of my inspirations is just being able to get out whatever it is I need to get out, whether it be something that I was thinking about a year ago and I'm just now getting it out finally, with voice or something. So that's one of my inspirations, and then just being able to show some like positivity and stuff with that. I don't want everyone to think I'm always sad or something.
Yeah, of course. And you said that you were going to Meredith College for international business.
And marketing.
So, I mean, you're doing two big things right now in your life, which is school and being part of the music industry. In 10 years or even more time, do you see yourself using your degree more or the music industry?
Ooh, that's hard. I hope I'm using my music more. I know people are always like, are you going to school for a backup for music? And I'm like, no, it's not a backup. I just really enjoy like business and like corporate world and stuff. But if I can incorporate both of them, music and business from an international standpoint,
which you most likely
will.
Heck yeah, for a fact. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
No.
No. Okay. I was like, you gonna finish? Yeah. But no, that's awesome because I didn't think about it that way. But yeah, it does go hand in hand, because that definitely goes hand in hand.
Because like as a musician, you kind of there's something like with other people that we brought on the podcast, it's something that they bring up as well. It's like as a musician, you gotta learn not to be just in like the creative and music part of it. You have to know the business part of it because it's not all just fun and games.
Yeah,
being a musician, there's a whole much behind it.
Yeah. And if you don't become, if you don't learn the business, then you lose a lot of money. For a fact.
It's actually it's with anything really that you want to make money off of. Like you have to know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't just expect people to be like, hey, I'm gonna listen to your stuff or I'm gonna buy your clothes. And you have to know these things, and like you're getting that knowledge in those classes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just doing it.
Yeah.
Have you ever performed in your native country or native country? Wait, I can connect. Well, countries. Yeah.
Well, so actually.
Well, Hawaii, but
well, Guam's actually a U.S. territory, so it's still part of the U.S. No,
you haven't.
No.
That'd be cool though if you would. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we don't. Actually, the biggest, right now.
Is the language barrier a little bit?
No. I just have never seen that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like you. Well, in my mind, I predicted that that you did perform, but no. I
haven't been back to either island in the last 4 maybe years,
4
maybe
years.
3 years.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah. It's expensive, you know, to get.
Oh,
from.
yeah, very.
Now, how long? I guess is it your only like project? It's a small project, right? Your EP. That's only been out for a little or like a year.
Mind Games. Yeah, Mind Games was out last August. And I took a really long gap and didn't work on anything. I mean, I didn't release anything. I've been working on things, but I didn't release anything. But I have a tape coming out called Dark Daisies in November.
Oh, okay. Sneak peek.
Now, how was it? Take us behind the whole like creative process behind that first project that you had.
Mind Games.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier that like you didn't want to write just like sad songs and stuff like that. You want to write stuff that's just like from the heart and like stuff that you've just been thinking about. Like take us behind the whole creative process that came about with that.
Mind Games was interesting because it was a tape full of sad songs because it was like I kind of like suffered through my own kind of mental things, and like went through some weird things prior to that tape. And for the longest, they kept asking like, write an EP, write an EP, write an EP, and I was like, I never like the music that I initially was going to release before Mind Games. It just didn't feel right, you know, like it didn't feel like me. Like I was like writing and singing about stuff that I thought other people wanted to hear from me, but it wasn't stuff that I was really trying to get out. And I was just in this like really weird dark like hole, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this out, and that's Mind Games came up, and it was just kind of a story about me playing like tricks, with myself, and like just like the everyday stuff that was going in my head, like because I felt like everywhere I went, like people saw this smile on my face, and they thought I was this like happy-go-lucky person, but they only like knew the crap that was going on in my head. They would probably think I was crazy, and that was the only way that I could, you know, get that out and kind of start that conversation going. You know, so it was my
That's kind of really what music stems from. Really, it's just emotion.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make you feel a certain way, but like the way it comes about is somebody felt a certain way, so you made this song. You know. But yeah, it's really inspiring because a lot of people, like you said, like you wrote music that didn't feel like you, and a lot of people would tend to want to stick to that and then just put up whatever because they think it will get them somewhere. But the fact that you recognize that and you said no, let me take a step back. That's really cool. And that's really humble.
Yeah, I feel like people, like in the long run, people will respect the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll come across eventually. So.
No, for sure. Yeah. Now, actually, I don't know which one might be like the most listened to song, but my personal favorite, honestly, we put it on the story the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. I think it was. I don't remember.
I'm bad at song names. I can only recognize.
It was the one that came after Permission.
Kingy.
No.
Home. Knockout.
I think it was. I don't remember the name.
You can sing it. Can you sing it?
I can't sing it. I can sing it. I don't remember the words. It was like a faint, like slow song.
It's probably Kirsten.
No.
Pavement Street.
Yeah, that one. I think it was that one. Yeah, that one's a really pretty song, and I really like that one because
so funny to say that.
it just makes you feel like a certain way. And like I was listening to it in the car, and then the sun was like sitting in the background. I'm like, oh man, if only I had a girl right now. It just makes you feel a certain way.
That's funny you
and
say
I really
that.
enjoyed it.
It's funny you say that because a lot of people thought that the song was like about a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like, you know, like a significant other, and like this whole time I was like, no, that's not about it's about myself.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Yeah, I get that all the time. I mean, I want people to interpret it however they see fit, but I didn't write it about like a significant other. It was like about myself. I was feeling myself. you know.
There you go. Yeah. But I mean, hey, it's a good song. And Permission, the one that I said that was a good song.
That was my first single, yeah.
Would you mind us putting some of the music on the podcast?
Yeah,
Oh,
please do,
okay.
please
Thank
do.
you.
Right here.
Right. Yeah. No, she should do it. She should do it. She should
Right here.
I drive fast, mind is erasing. Letting go of all the things that's painful. I drive fast, foot up on the pedal. Letting go of all the things unknown.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I didn't say nothing,
You
bro.
didn't say
Come on,
nothing.
man.
My bad.
No.
Yeah, it's been a long fucking day. Oh yeah, we can bring so no, okay, come on, no, okay, no, I just have well,
Let's put like a caption or something over here.
Yeah, so sorry, dude, I'm putting you on the spot, but your boyfriend is behind the scenes. Can you tell us about a little bit about how you guys met? Because before the podcast, I feel uncomfortable because before the podcast started, we were just talking with him. He's a cool guy, you know, totally cool guy. So, and he's from Charlotte, she's from Fayetteville. So I'm like, hey, that's
How did I meet him?
Yeah.
Actually, it involves music, so that's
really
so cool.
oh, okay.
I was performing at the Harvest Fest at Meredith, and he knew my drummer. He knew the whole band actually that I was playing with. So he came in, and I saw him, and I was like, yep, that is the one. And so he was walking out, and I was like trying to go tell my family, you know, thanks so much for coming. So then I kind of like slid around, and I like walked up to him, and I was just like, you're so fine. We gonna get married. And then he slid in my DMs with the lyrics to my song.
Hey, slick man.
There you go. That's how it happens.
Yeah, it happens like that. It clicks. Hector still has to have food.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
You guys have girlfriends?
He does.
I have a
Aw.
girlfriend. Yeah. But hey, Hector, you know, one day.
I'll put you on. I got you.
Yeah. I haven't consulted Hector about this, but sometimes an idea that I had is like having random questions for the guests, you know, like kind of like when we did the 10 questions, something like that, you know, anything that pops into your head that's kind of random, but still kind of fun.
Go for it.
I think we didn't. I mean, you're a singer, so we didn't ask us to play any instruments as well.
I could daddle a little bit, just a little bit.
Keys?
A little bit.
If we had a
Can't play,
piano
don't.
here,
Can't
we'd,
play.
like, pull it out or something.
Yes.
What is your favorite American cookout food?
American cookout food.
Not like the cookout, like the fast food, but like cookout, you know.
Like
Family time.
Grilled, grilled. Yeah, there you go. Like family time, out in the backyard, grilling.
corn.
Like my dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Do you add anything to it? Like
Well,
butter
actually,
or-
we've just found this little Mexican street style corn.
Okay. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Wow, it is great.
That
But
food truck
honestly,
food is good.
it's so good. But honestly, actually, I like any type of corn. I go to the fair. Y'all going to the fair?
Oh.
I go to the fair just for corn. Like,
Just
they
for
got
corn?
so much types of corn and so many types of seasoning.
I
I'm
know.
so excited.
Yeah.
Every time I go, everybody always talks about the turkey legs. And I'm like, I don't even think I would have one.
Go get some corn.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do that.
You can come with us.
Man, yeah. And how do you back to music a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, how are you able to balance music and school? Are you a full-time student? Wow. How do you do that? Because I know those are two, you know, those are time-consuming things. You know, like music and school. Like some people they say you have to pick one, but you're doing both. How do you do that?
I guess I don't think about it as like something that I have to, I don't know how to explain that. It's kind of just like a part of like the lifestyle. Like right now, like
You enjoy it?
I enjoy it one, to like you don't force yourself to like get up and write, or you don't force yourself to get up and sing. It's just like intertwined in my life, you know. So it's just become like
it's DNA now.
Yeah, it's just
wow. Okay. Yeah. And you graduate next semester?
Yeah, in May.
Wow. That's crazy good. That's crazy exciting. Shoot. I wish that was me right now.
Got a little while.
Yeah, I'm just starting, man. But when you went into college, did you know that you wanted to do business? Or did you start off kind of shaky, trying this out, trying that out?
No, I declared like the second weekend. I already knew like when I walked in.
You wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in the music industry by then, or were you just?
Yep. Yeah.
You were.
Yeah. Wow. I knew. But actually, I went to my school. I played basketball in my school.
Really?
So that's why I got to that school. It's because I was hoping for the school.
Really?
But they had a great business program, so I was like, wow, that works.
Are you still playing basketball for my?
Heck no.
No.
Shot those hoop dreams down.
Damn. Hey, how long did you play basketball?
The first 2 years.
First 2 years. What happened?
Oh, that was one of those things you gotta choose: school music or basketball, because that takes up so much of your life. You're practicing like 3 times a week. 3 days, 3 times a day. Yeah, you got like weights, and then you got practice, and then you got conditioning, and it's just you're traveling all the time. Yeah. So like, if I would have done basketball, I would have had to choose between basketball and music.
What's your favorites? I cannot speak. What is your favorite basketball memory from playing college ball?
It all sucked. I don't know.
It all sucked?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The food. We got really we got such great food because we're always on the road, so we always got like food stipends and stuff. So
damn. I mean, I know that you guys on campus, you always got like, you know, your own food, right? Like your own cafeteria time and like that, or no?
Huh. My school's very small.
Oh, okay.
Very small.
Okay, I know that most schools do that. They make the athletes, you know, go in and eat by them, or with the team, of course, but like they get certain food. Usually it's better than the cafeteria food. Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But hey, that's awesome. Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just that?
My parents made me pick one very early on, and it was basketball.
It was basketball.
Stuck to basketball.
That's good. And you said that you started in the church choir, of course. Did your parents, if you don't mind me asking, did your parents have anything, you know, did they like the idea of you singing in the genre that you're in right now, or?
Yeah, so actually, it's not only my parents. My grandmother, she's like a musical genius.
Okay.
So like,
yeah,
that's what came from. She trained me from like, I think I was 5 or 6 years old, vocally. She was like, she trained me in the church. She was like the director for like multiple churches, and she was really great. So I think it kind of affected her more when I moved over to this alternative R&B genre. But I always say like any music that I make like lyrically is something that I would be okay with her hearing. You know, I'm not gonna just start dropping F-bombs and start talking about, you know, getting living on or something, you know. So I don't. Not in my music. And if it isn't
at all.
Sometimes. And if I do catch some of my music, it's very subtle, but yeah, like I've always told her if I'm making music, it's something that you'd be comfortable hearing.
Gotcha. Does your family listen to your music on a daily or no?
Oh yeah.
I think I'm mad at my family.
They're big supporters. They're like at every show that I have. Like we just did Packapalooza in Raleigh, and like my entire family, which is like came in their Loku shirts, and like they know the words to every song. It's cute. Even like the little girls in our family, they like think I'm this like pop star, and I'm like, I'm not there yet, but they like.
So you have your merch line for Loku music?
No, we will for Dark Daisies.
Oh, okay.
For in November. There's
Awesome.
like some cool stuff that's being made. But
Awesome.
So like you said that you were like just going kind of a little bit back to the beginning music stage.
Mhm.
You said in the church choir. Like are you still like big on religion or stuff, or like you still keep like your ties with that kind of close to you, or did you kind of like separate religion from that? Because like I do see like on your page you're really big on like vibes and stuff like that, and that's kind of why like it kind of like interested me a little bit, because like the way that you approach stuff is kind of like a little bit related to the program and stuff like that, and just like the mindset of it, like, being positive and like that. But like, yeah.
I get asked that a lot. Like, are you religious? And I'd say I'm more spiritual than I am religious. Yeah, and I think that kind of ties into like all like the positivity and stuff that like I try to like push on people. But yeah, like I'm still like close like within my religion. Like I mean, I don't like sing with it anymore or like, but yeah, that's like really dear to like my heart and stuff, you know. But yeah, I'd say I'm more spiritual than I am religious. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I get it. No, actually, I don't know. No, we didn't talk about this. Where did the name actually come from? Or is that your name? Loku?
No.
Like, where did that come?
Loku in Chamorro means crazy, and that's just something my like family just always like said sometimes. Like randomly, my dad used to say that sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, because in Spanish it sounds like loco.
Actually, Chamorro and Spanish are very similar. Like sometimes they mean very opposite things, but a lot of our words are very similar to Spanish words.
Bro.
See that?
So are you fluent?
No. I mean, like if someone's carrying a Chamorro conversation, I know what to talk about. And I mean, I can.
Could you give us like a phrase or something to see if we can like
to see the similarities?
Yeah. I want to.
Because we're both fluent in Spanish.
So it's not gonna be like like that. It's gonna be like subtle words. Are gonna be like.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Nothing.
But I don't know Spanish, so like I'm trying.
The pressure is on.
Just give us anything. I just want to figure it out.
Or like hi.
Oh yeah, or something like that. Something simple. There you go.
Hi. Oh, that's not. Hi is half a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not.
So yeah, that's like
No.
Yeah. So scrolling down your Instagram account, I saw a video. I think you were performing. It looked like a festival. I forgot what the caption said. But in the video, you said that this is for the people who were kind of like outcasts in high school because you were one as well.
Yeah.
Can you, if you don't mind, talking about that, high school stage in your life, were you an outcast? How much of an outcast were you? Did you have any friends at all? Or, I'm just asking because in the video, it just seemed like she had like, very little friends and was very preserved. I'm just saying.
Shots fired.
No, not even.
Actually, it's quite the opposite. I was like with the cool kids, but I was never a cool kid, and it was very obvious. Like, cause I played sports in high school, like hang out with all like the private people, but I was like just not there, like, and it was very obvious, like hanging out with them. And they made it very clear that I was like, it was just a weird thing that I never understood. Like, why did y'all let me hang out with y'all if y'all was always like down on me? Like,
damn.
But yeah, that song from Kids.
Like the one being made fun of in the cool kid group? Is that what you mean?
What do you mean?
Like you were part of like the
I was
the
part of the
popular.
cool kids, but I was never a cool kid. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Does that
I
make
get
sense?
it.
I understand. I mean, because I've seen them many times.
Yeah.
And I was kind of one of them in high school.
Yeah. So he gets it. Yeah.
I don't know. You just know like when you don't really like fit in with the group.
No, yeah.
But they're letting you hang out with them because
you're chill.
Yeah, you're chill. And I went to like a school where like it was a bunch of like rich kids. It's fine, like whatever. But I wasn't like I was probably like the only not rich kid at that school.
Really?
So that was a very wow. Like,
I completely relate with you too, because I mean, like, I feel like I was kind of poking fun a little bit, but like I feel like I was one of those kids too, because like I would hang around the cool kids group, and I knew who they were. I knew the cliques and stuff, but I also knew it wasn't like, I was always conscious of the fact that like I know I shouldn't be making fun of this other kid just because he's good at math, and this kid is like is popular and he doesn't care about his feelings.
Yeah.
And like I just never understood it, why like I followed them a little bit, but at the same time I was like, I know I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And like I never like stuck in, I never like stuck with that group, and like especially because like those kids also like so like for me, I actually don't drink or smoke or anything, and neither does he.
Yeah.
And like when we were around those like cool kids, like that's all they ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like I don't mind people who do it, but like people who do it just because they think like it'll make
heighten
them
their status.
Yeah. Or like it'll make them look cool, or like they just want to show off to people who don't have what they have, and I'm like, oh, why?
Yeah.
True. Very true.
You know? So I wasn't the type of kid who actually like hung around them kids a lot, but I just knew who they were.
Yeah.
Now with your music, one thing I was actually curious about asking is, what do you think is like a big component to you putting music together? Like stuff that you talk about a lot is like being positive and all that stuff. Do you think like positivity, hard work, adversity and stuff like that? Like what do you think influences you the most to make music or to make a song?
Emotions. Yeah, because I mean I'm writing from here. I mean, but quite honestly, sometimes I'm writing about stuff that like I see other people go through. So that's always, I don't know, people always asking them, did you go through that? And I'm like, no, but I saw it. Like
That's interesting.
So like feelings and emotions are my two that I'd say are like deeply rooted into the music.
Okay. Yeah,
Did
no,
I
that's
answer
cool.
that question?
Yeah.
Okay. I know something.
Yeah.
So when we have a guest, what we like to do is we have the guest leave a question for our audience. So you can ask the people who listen or watch anything you would like. And well, I guess you would have to leave your social first.
Yeah,
because they'll leave that in
in
your social media.
Okay, so like any question?
Just anything that's been on your mind, something that you've been thinking about lately, or something just
right off
curious
the
to
bat.
know about.
Okay.
From people in general, or just something for yourself.
I have a question. Can I tell you? Oh, do you want me to tell them?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you first?
I mean.
Okay. So you want me to say who I am? What am I doing?
Well, I guess
Oh,
you
just asking
can
a question.
leave your social media.
Yeah. First, yeah.
What's my social media? Okay. So you can find me on Instagram at loku.music. And my question for you today, I guess.
Oh, where can they find your music?
True.
Okay.
Can't forget that.
So you start over?
No, just keep.
Oh, just
Keep going, yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram at loku.music, and then you can find my music on SoundCloud, but then in November it will be on all streaming stuff. And my question for all you Pioneer folks today is, what are you feeding your soul? Because lately I've kind of been talking to people about like, you know, what you consume is what you put out. So I guess I would just ask, what are you feeding your soul?
That's a deep question.
I'm really big on that too.
It's a deep
I'm glad you
question.
asked that, because I feel like that's something a lot of people, they think about, but they don't constantly ask themselves. You know, they think about it, and then the next day they're like, whatever, I'll just go back to doing whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah. She got me.
Because I'm really big on like just surrounding yourself with people who actually will help you progress forward.
Right.
No toxic people whatsoever.
No negativity.
Like, even though this might sound kind of bad, but like even like close people like that you know that are just not good for you, like you have to get rid of people like that. Because if you don't, you're gonna go down the same way.
Yeah.
May not be as bad, but you'll still have like that mindset of like I can't, get out of this.
Little mindset, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, and just like check your intake, you know, like if, like you said, if you're like surrounded by negativity and like consuming like all like that, then you inevitably will become that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to, honestly, when you're doing stuff like what you're doing and what we're trying to do as well. You can't be negative about it, or else it's gonna fail. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you have to stay positive about your music and our podcast or our brand or whatever it is that we do. So other than that, it's gonna fall.
Yeah, and I say too, like with from the creative aspect, I'm sure you guys know too, from like the podcast and your brand and music and all that stuff, like making sure you support like other people that are at like the same level as you, or like even above you, even below you, making sure you're giving that same effort of support, because it is hard being like a new artist or a new podcast or a new brand.
But I honestly feel like it's the most fun stage.
Oh
honestly.
yeah, like creativity is like wild. Like,
no, even though it sounds fun to be like up there like, with all the like high up people, but at the same time it's like this is the stage where you're like building your brand or whatever, like the stage where you're creating yourself. Because it's also a stage of growth. Even though up there you're growing still, but like this is where you're going to grow the most. And it's a stage in like the process of anything that I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate as much.
No, I agree.
I mean, just like when we were kids, man, we love that childhood stage, you know, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, you don't appreciate it.
You know, you don't appreciate it until it's gone. Yeah,
it's
just crazy.
Give anything for now.
But yeah, thank you so much, Loku. It was an honor. It was a pleasure having you on the Durham Pioneer, Bull City Pioneers.
How many episodes have we done?
Hey, man, I've been off all day. I'm so sorry.
We haven't done it once.
11-hour shift today, so.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us on the Bull City Pioneers.
Thanks for having me.
You know, thank you. Thank your boyfriend for coming as well. Coming out as a cool guy. Hector, you have anything to say?
What are you feeding your soul?
Yeah, what are you feeding your soul? You know, what are you feeding your soul?
Please do that for us.
Yes.
We'll show Loku some love. Listen to her music. She's got really dope music.
Thank you.
We'd really appreciate it if you did that for us. Thank you once again for coming on the podcast.
Thanks
we'll
for having me.
gladly have you again sometime.
Oh yeah,
down the line.
In the future. In the future. I'm Louise.
I'm Hector.
I'm Lo.
And this is another episode of Bull City Pioneers. See you again. Wait, let's see how to do it. Let's see if you'll put it in the video. Oh.
What?
Yeah, I was just making sure. We're trying to do the video.
Oh.
Yeah.